Warning, brave adventurer. This episode of Echoes of Honor may contain adult language or adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everybody. Hello there, and welcome back to the Cosmere RPG campaign, Echoes of Honor. We are really excited to be jumping in very soon with our third episode. Very, very exciting. We finished off the first step, mostly finished off the first step in the last two sessions. We've got all the character sheets finalized and created on Demiplane. We will be using the Demiplane character creators for the character sheets, rolling it across into Roll20. First impressions, getting everything up and running and sharing across the two platforms. It's pretty nice. Looks pretty good. So far, I'm pretty impressed. I had a bit of a play around a couple of weeks ago while we were still figuring out which one we wanted to do and which one we wanted to use. And I was pretty impressed with the Demiplane setup. So we'll keep you posted if anything changes. But for now, that'll be our main use case. We'll be using Demiplane for the character sheets. We do have two apologies for tonight. Matt, unfortunately, which we knew in advance, Matt's going to be over in Japan having a little holiday by himself. Easily explained, we're going to have Rav-eth stay behind to heal the wounded. Makes perfect sense that Rav-eth wouldn't want to leave behind the people that they've worked so hard to save after the events of the first step. Has had a bit of a last-minute family event sprung on him with very little notice. A birthday party for one of his family members. I think it was like 2 hours or 3 hours notice, not a lot of time for poor Harrison. So we may or may not see him tonight. If he's joining us, it'll be a little bit later. So I'll keep you posted. Hopefully we'll see him, but if not, that's not a problem. I am more than happy to play the character of Ztar for tonight. That is not an issue at all. Other fun news, the wiki is in the process of being fully updated with all of the character information. It will all be up on the wiki, and I'll be doing my damnedest to keep the wiki up to date. I know that's a Herculean task, but I figure if we do it as we go, it should be easier. The problem is like 6 months later coming back and being like, that's a lot of work. So I will do my best to try and keep everything looking up to date on the wiki. And to that end, I have also updated the character info box template. I've made a new info box on the wiki. On that sidebar where you can see all the character stats, we were using one specifically made for D&D characters. I've made a specific one for Cosmere. I've created a new template. Anyone can use it if you had a reason to play around with it. Anyone can use it. It's free. You can just copy and paste it from the wiki. I've got it set up as a separate page, so you can just copy the source code. Feel free to if you want to. And that's pretty much all the fun news to share. Pokemon Legends EA. Box, thing, click if you want to see me play Pokemon Legends EA. I'm having a blast. It's fun. If I judge a game as being good by having fun, then yeah, it's a good game. I'm having loads of fun. That is all. Anything fun to share before we jump into the session and do our recap? No? Happy? Sweet. Awesome sauce. Well, brace yourselves. Tonight, we will be playing around with the combat system. The cool thing is in Demiplane, if you click on actions, it shows you everything you can do. The little symbols will go through as we start, and I'll explain everything, but I think we're ready to rock and roll. So, let's do our recap, and let's jump into the session. Our story began on the western edge of the Shattered Plains, with Gark, Miki, Neivien, Rav-eth, Alaran, and Ztar. Travellers making their way to the Alethi warcamps on the Shattered Plains as part of a larger caravan. Led by Bright Lady Rallinat and guarded by soldiers from High Lord Bethab's province of Alethkar, the journey from Kholinar and through the northern reaches of the Frostlands has been without major incidents. That is, however, until the caravan sought shelter in a small canyon on the borders of the Shattered Plains. Attacked in the night by dozens of armed men, chaos erupted in the campsite, the soldiers scurrying to protect the civilians. Leaping into action, the members of our makeshift team worked to help the injured and help fight with the guards against these clearly well-trained attackers. The tide of battle began to turn, the Bethab soldiers bolstered by the assistance and able to repel these aggressors. However, all was not as it seemed. As the soldiers began to retreat, it suddenly became clear this was a deliberate move. A shard-bearer in painted black armour launching into the campsite and carving through the Bethab guards with ease. With Bright Lady Rallinat having retreated, clearly aware of this attack in advance, the remaining survivors from the caravan were now trapped in the canyon, the shard-bearers sweeping their blade across the canyon walls and raining massive boulders down upon the helpless survivors cowering below. As the sun rose some hours later, the party worked to gather and rally the few remaining survivors. With the next high storm due to arrive any day, time was of the essence. However, with so many injured, it was clear that the caravan wasn't going to make it to the war camps in time. We left off last session with Gark, Miki, Neivien, Alaran and Ztar deciding to go on ahead and send for help, while Rav-eth stayed behind to tend to the wounded. That is where we left off last session. We jump straight back in, with all of you having had a rest over the night before, and departing at dawn the next day. On Roshar, the night lasts for about 5 hours, the day for about 15, and as you awaken, having slept rather fitfully, and moving across the landscape, the shattered plains are a vast, empty landscape, thoroughly alien to most of you. For Neivien and Alaran, this is very different to the far lusher regions of Alethi and Vedan that you call home. Gark is a well-travelled Theylan merchant. You've probably seen a number of places. You maybe even have sailed along to New Natan, seen the borders of the Shattered Plains and the northern Frostlands from the ocean. This wouldn't be as alien to you. But for Miki, this is really very much out of your comfort zone and out of your home biome, shall we say. The air here is colder than it is for you up on the mountains inside your warm thermal springs. It's thicker as well. There's this cloying nature of the air all around you. Every breath you take, there's so much of it. You could chew the air as it thickens around you. It's humid, but cold, and you find your sweat beginning to stick and cool the inside of you far quicker than you were hoping. Your journey goes for about 3 hours. Is there anything you would in particular be doing, particularly be talking about while you trudge across the unchanging landscape, the plains stretching all around you, north, south, east and west, the only guide, the footsteps and track marks left in the road that leads ever eastward? Is there anything in particular you'd want to talk about, anything in particular you'd want to do? Otherwise, I'll have Ztar jump in.
I think Neivien... she's not really doing a whole lot. She's probably towards the back of the group, trailing a little bit, stumbling every now and then, just kind of arms wrapped around herself, dead staring forward, just got to keep moving sort of thing.
Alaran's doing quite the opposite of that. To begin with, it's that front of leadership where he thinks if he just tells other people what to do, that is his job. So he's like, not even directly talking to Ztar, but maybe even giving instructions to others to give instructions to our lookouts to look out for things, and then falling back in step behind and by the side of Neivien and sighing, looking across to Neivien and talking about how basically just babbling to Neivien about how hard it is to keep on top of everyone and keep everyone in order, and then Alaran kind of takes a breath and enters into that same kind of state of quietness, and a bit of truth slips through there as Alaran starts to sink into reflection on what has happened in the last 20 hours.
Yeah.
I think Neivien, in that quietness, that kind of rests, because she's kind of been nodding along and just kind of going, for the most part, as he's rambling. When he actually does stop after a couple of minutes of silence, would probably just fairly quietly, but just loud enough, murmur, "You're not actually doing that bad of a job."
Alaran puffs up his chest, tugs at his coat to straighten himself out a little bit, sees that it's still ripped to the sides, and everything will be good when we get back to the plains. A sense of order will be taken care of as we should.
Okay. Gark and Miki, what will the two of you be doing while the two light-eyed Alethi and Vedan, clearly some sort of nobility, or think they're nobility, try and take charge once again? Neivien less so. Alaran definitely, but Neivien less so. Gark, let's start with you. What would you be doing?
I think I'd noticed that Alaran keeps looking at his coat, at the tear in it, and I'm sort of in front a little bit, and I look behind as he falls back in step, and I don't want to engage with the pair of them too much because they look a bit. Actually, no, he would, because Gark is happy-go-lucky, so he sees that they look miserable, and he look towards Miki and give Miki a wink, and then I fall back a few steps. I'm like, my lord, it looks like your coat is still damaged. I can repair it if you'd like. I wasn't all about myself after the combat, so I wasn't 100% sure of what my skills actually were, but I can repair that for you if you'd like.
Oh, very, very good. And as walking, Alaran starts just unbuttoning his outer coat, and kind of like as he takes it off, I guess is like, oh, this is a little improper, but I guess this is what happens when we're out in the wilds. Hands the coat over, and I guess as he does so, one of his marks is going to be in it for you. Just out of, I guess, habit of exchange. So I'm going to take away one of my marks, and you can have.
I'm going to add one.
There you go. It's like a single, at the end of the single day. Rough diamond chip, let's say. I think the house is over.
As you take yours off, I'm like, oh yes, just so you don't go without, and I take mine off, and I've just got a very thin vest top underneath, and I just put the coat on you.
As you go to that, he sidesteps you a little bit, seeing that he's not naked underneath his outer coat. He's wearing a nice dress shirt, and as you go to offer, no, it's thank you.
Oh, that's fine.
And he just being like, can you believe a Theylan coat on this attire?
It's not fashionable. It's not in season. Ugh.
Yeah, it's very piratey. To be fair, even without the sleeves, it's still a tent on you, and I'll just sort of put it back on, and then I'm going to get starting work on the stitching and repair Alaran's jacket.
Fantastic.
Can I just ask on Gark's kind of bit underneath his like big coat? What is he wearing? Because he's
not
sleeveless, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot, yeah. Like very bare chest, lot of bare chest. There is like a small bit of like material there that was probably once some sort of a tank top, but he's not changed his clothes for a while. It's been ripped and torn through the constant lifting and moving of things.
When I was drawing the under shirt, Josh, I was sort of basing it on like the silk, like a silk tunic style thing, and I was reading, doing a bit of research to see what sort of materials pirates would often wear that breathed really well and dried okay. And apparently silk, not great getting wet, but was so good for breathing that some pirates, especially Steve Bonnet, who was the gentleman pirate, insisted on only wearing silken undershirts. And I thought, yeah, that checks out. I reckon Gark would be like so I was sort of basing it, maybe more of a linen for Gark, but this sort of like very loose fitting.
That's why it's so like ripped and stuff, because it's such a weak material, but it just dries so quickly. So all of the high storms that we've had, I'm the first one to get dry.
Yeah. It's the best way to have a bath. You just go stand out in the riddens, wash yourself off. Awesome. Okay.
My favorite thing to do.
Absolutely. And Miki. Actually, for it, Gark, could I get you to make me a crafting check, please? Let's see how good you go repairing Alaran's coat. I'd love a crafting check. I can see you have a +5 to this. That's a good start. I feel like that's going to be okay.
Despite my character's voice, I am very intelligent.
Hey, okay.
I rolled a 12.
12 is okay. I gotta say, I also really like the display, the interface, the UI for that is really nice. You can see the dice really clearly. I like that a lot. That's nice. On the Roll20. For those of you listening to the podcast, this is just how it looks inside Roll20 on the dice roll. It looks really nice. It's really pretty. Good excuse to come and jump on and check out the video.
It's 12. A lot easier to read as compared to when we've played D&D using Roll20.
Yes, and I'm thinking when we add plot dice, it's going to be even nicer, which I'm very excited for as well. Gark, as you while walking, I should add as well, this is like a pretty difficult task you're doing, repairing this tear while walking. You've had a lot of experience, specifically repairing your own clothes while on the move. And luckily enough, you do have some thread of a close enough shade of red that you think the Lordling won't notice. If you get this done right and stitch it together just so, hiding the stitches inside the fold of the fabric where the tear joins over, hiding the stitches underneath, he's hardly going to notice. It's almost the right color. And sure enough, after about 20 minutes worth of work, very carefully stitching while you're kind of walking, relying maybe on Ztar to kind of help let you know if you're going to trip on an uneven bit of ground or a stone in your way, you hand back the coat to Alaran. Nicely darned. Pretty well repaired. Alaran, this looks good. I mean, this wasn't a professional tailor, and you can see some stitch marks, but this is actually pretty damn good work. This is not what you were expecting.
This'll get me back to the Shattered Plains. I didn't expect to find a full tailor out here, but thank you, Gark. Gark?
That's right.
Yes, Gark. It is Gark.
It is Gark, yes, my lord, it is Gark. Little bit more time, little bit of a safer environment. I could probably get that done for you in a more professional manner, but, if you ever need anything, come to Gark's Emporium. That's a name I just made up.
Oh, you have a business?
I do now. Carrying the weapons on my back.
Well, Gark, here's the thing. You know that there are many Theylan merchants who've actually moved and set up shops in the Shattered Plains, not just in the Alethi warcamps, but in front of the King's Palace, back from the warcamps. You've heard that there is an entire market district that has formed called the Outer Market. There are Thelans there who have made bank selling things that soldiers need and soldiers want. I'm even going to say that your cousin has been, let's say like a cousin or a friend of a cousin or a friend of a friend. You've heard set up and only spent 3 years and has already come back to Thaylanar, bought himself a new home in one of the upper districts and is living life to the largest after providing, let's say, items of comfort to soldiers far from home.
Yes, Cousin Bark made lots of money.
Yeah, Cousin Bark, nice. If Gark dies, you can take over as Bark and then just jump back in again. Yeah, nice. Miki, while the others are sort of, while Gark is repairing Alaran's tunic, while Neivien is sort of keeping an eye out, and occasionally fiddling with this fabrial on her hand that occasionally emits light before dimming down again. What would you be doing, Miki?
Hello, Alaran. I have a question for you. Do you have a moment of your time?
Tom has found his voice and I fucking love it. Here we go.
Yes, certainly.
I think you are right, Ward. Of your acquaintances, is that what we normally say? Is that the correct addressing for you?
That is as good as we can expect from the Horny to Peaks. But yes, that'll do.
Oh, what do you expect from the Horny to Peaks then?
Not much.
Oh, okay. Well, you give yourself time, and you'll be surprised.
Yes, do well here, and we get to the Shattered Plains, and there'll be good word put in for everyone.
Oh, that's greatly appreciated then.
Did you have a question?
Oh, I did. These are things that you perhaps would know that maybe others would not. Who are the, there's many shard blades and shard plates that go around. If you were to list some of the strongest or the weakest around, who would you think those would be?
I'm going to ask if I can make some sort of check here. I feel like I have some knowledge around this stuff, but I would like to, use this as an opportunity to engage with.
So, this is where your expertises might come into play. For example, I can see you have the Alethi cultural expertise and the dueling expertise. Both of these will very much help you in identifying shard bearers who are of particular renown. What I will get you to do, if you could make me a deduction test to push a bit further, you will get base knowledge just from your expertises. You don't have to make a roll if you don't want to, but if you want to get a little bit of extra information, you may as well make the deduction check anyway, and then I'll give you some extra information on top of it, but it won't change your base level of knowledge. So the way that expertises work is you start off with knowledge an every man wouldn't have. I do like this better than D&D, where in D&D, like you might be a wizard whose backstory is I spent years researching spells, and then you roll like a natural 1 on how mage armor works. And it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I be shit at this? The way it works in Cosmere is you have a base level of knowledge if you have the expertise. Any rolls or checks gives you extra knowledge on top of that. So yeah, if you could roll me a deduction test, I'll give you the base knowledge as well.
Okay. Whoa.
I will note that Miki also does have Alethi expertise as well, so I could probably help him as well going through the houses.
That's good to know, Miki. You would actually have a bit of knowledge on this as well, and that makes sense that you would have the information. That's a dirty 20, which is what I like to call a really nice start. Alaran, without any help from Miki, you would know a couple of things. There are a number of shard bearers who are considered to be exceptional. Dalinar Colin, the leader of House Colin, the Blackthorn himself, is widely regarded as the most dangerous man alive. He, along with his brother Gavilar, I mean, really it was him. He kind of single-handedly conquered most of Alethkar for his brother to take the throne as king. Gavilar was not gifted in battle. The Blackthorn is a name feared across most of the cities of Alethkar. Now, he is much older now than he was back then. This has been a number of years since then. And there are rumors that have traveled from the Shattered Plains that Dalinar Colin, since his brother's death, has undergone a dramatic change. He seeks this sort of scholarly pursuit. He's been obsessed with a book that his brother was reading at the time as well. And that information has definitely gotten back to Alethkar, and you would know of this. His son, Adelan, is well known as a very gifted duelist. However, you would also have some specific knowledge there that one of Adelan's shards didn't always belong to him. It was one not too long ago, about I think 6 years ago, if I'm remembering the timeline correctly. About 6 years before the events, Adelan won Shardblade from a certain Bright Lord. I can share it now if you like, or we can save it for later. It's up to you. You would know this. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. We can have it as like common knowledge that we can play through because it'll be fun when it then comes up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, then you would know that that Adelan won his shard from. Let me pull it open here. Hang on, I've got the name here. It was Talinar, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think it's Tinalar.
Tinalar was the one he won his shard blade from in a duel a couple of years ago. Apart from that, I mean, there'd be a list of many names of shard bearers, full shard bearers, a long list of names who'd be quite gifted. You already know or have suspicions that Bright Lord Resi or Resi is one of the shard bearers, possibly the shard bearer who attacked the caravan, also known as being quite a feared soldier on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, are there, like, in the southern kingdoms, knowing, like, kind of where I'm from, are there others in the kind of, like, southern kingdoms that are known shard bearers? So kind of in the kingdoms of, is it Amarams that's kind of up?
Amaram or Amaram? I don't know if it's pronounced Amaram or Amaram. Amaram is from, I think going Amaram. Amaram is from the Southern Kingdoms. He recently became a shard bearer, just of blade, not of plate. He recently acquired a shard blade only, I believe only a year ago, before, or less than a year.
Yeah.
So he's the most recent person. He won it in a fight between two of the Alethi princedoms. He recently came across his blade. Otherwise, there's a whole long list of ones. I can go through them in detail, but you would know that there's a number who are from that southern section. I believe Talanor, Teleb. I'm trying to see. So Teleb. Yeah, Teleb was a. He's from the southern. He's from the southern kingdoms. He was a officer in the Kolan army, and he is a shard bearer. I think he just has blade. Talanor. I'm getting confused. He's another one. He just has the blade. Doesn't have plate. On the Shattered Plains, but yeah, there'd be a whole long list. I can go through them in detail if you like, but you would. I'm happy to just say you would know of a long list of shard bearers.
Yeah.
And Miki, you would know the main names as well.
I've got the like book list as something that I've been using as a reference piece. That's obviously full of spoilers, so I'm cautious to venture into that. But yeah, so I basically just start, Miki. I just start like I guess dictating a whole bunch of shard bearers and jewels in which they won shards and which kingdoms that they won them from or who has them and how they've come to be with those, and kind of like talking about the good form of the battle versus, and it seems like this is a particular space where Alaran has a lot of insight and confidence, and he just like gets into this kind of like communication of the like last 10 years of like dueling and shard bearing and how that has like shards have moved around in the Alethi kingdoms.
Well, I see that you've got more mind than might, would be fair to say. I think you handled yourself well back there. I'll give you that.
Yes.
I maintain eye contact, staring at him, just to hold the point of, I know you were trying very hard there. Good job. I give him a little tap.
A staring contest? What's going on?
I think so. I give him a little tap on the shoulder and then would break contact.
Ztar,
again, someone's trying to reach out for me again. Like that's like the third time, and every single time I have tried to get away from a touch, a gifted cloak.
These
I
people
think I have
are so
to ask
physical,
touchy.
Alaran. They keep wanting to touch. Yeah.
Oh, my apologies, Brat Lord. I'll give you all your space then. Just it's a normal thing to be close with those you are traveling. So my apologies then. I'll give you your space.
Without a word, I just fall back in next to Neivien, and like mutter to myself a little discomfort.
Can I check? And it's funny because I've been reading the audiobooks. The pronunciations are quite different.
I was worried about that. I've only read it, so I don't know the audiobook pronunciations.
With and now I've forgotten his name. Aelthi.
Aelthi. Yep.
Did Alaran mention Aelthi as a good swordsman and who he won the blade off during that little spout of information?
Surely. Right?
Yeah, I definitely have to mention it. Not mentioning it would have been a bigger tell for you. But yeah, you already have insight there of the significance of that.
Yeah.
So I focus on the Blackthorn and then almost mention his son in like a way of being like, and then this preppy young figure came in and, caused quite a disturbance and thinks he's the best duelist in the court, and it's true. But there is bite in the movement through those words.
It is Aelthi. I just checked. The official pronunciation is Aelthi. I've been pronouncing it wrong and thinking it wrong in my head for decades now. Great. Thanks for that, Raph.
You're gonna
great.
Oh, and you're gonna have a great time. There's now like a whole bunch of us that have done the audiobooks, and the whole time it's like,
I missed the end of that. Sorry, Ash. Your audio.
Yeah, we lost your audio.
Sorry. Just that the audiobooks are super different in terms of how they pronounce like everything.
Great.
So it's going to be a fun journey of us having our different dialects on saying names and stuff like that.
Look,
so that'll be fun.
I prefer Adeline.
Great. Me too. In this world, imagine me as playing the character of Wit and Hoyd, which means that I'm an off-worlder and I'm going to pronounce things how he thinks they're pronounced, and it's going to be wrong. And that's the canon I accept. No comments. There is no feedback allowed on this. I am not accepting any feedback. This is how it is. I will try my best to pronounce things as they're supposed to be pronounced. Adolin, yeah. Adolin's a tricky one because like Adolin is known as being an exceptional duelist, but he's also been dueling far less since the War of the Reckoning, since the movement to the Shattered Plains. And because that's where kind of the Alethi base has moved, a lot of the information about duels it's not been making its way back to Alethkar. And so your information, Alaran, is a little bit out of date. I'm going to say with your deduction of 20, it's not. Your information is very much in date. And you would know that I'm going to say that this information got to you somehow very, very quickly, let's say by span read. You've been keeping up to date with all of the updates on the updates on all of the situation. Only, 5, 6, 7 days ago, Adolin beat Bright Lord Rezi in a duel. Destroyed him in a duel. Not for shards, not for any reason other than honor. And Adolin absolutely mopped him across the floor.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That is information you would have.
And I think that that's why in the moment that piece of information was so clear, like in that revelation of who is this figure, it's like, I know who this is because I know why I don't know why you're here, but I know what happened. You know, it's part of the reason why I'm going to the Shattered Plains. It's the center of Alethkar, like court and power, and all of the shard blades essentially are in that space. Not all, but most.
Well, the easiest ones to win. I mean, there are wild theories going around Alethkar that the Parshendi, these warrior parshmen, have maybe tens, maybe more shard blades and shard plate. You could, I mean, and it's impossible for the Alethi not to kind of think, well, it'd be easy to kill a Parshendi. I reckon there'd be that inherent, what do we call it? Inherent racism, I guess.
Arrogance?
Yeah, arrogance and racism. Yeah. I think, I can easily beat the Parshendi. As your conversation kind of like intensifies a little bit, you watch as Ztar at the front kind of pauses for a second, looks around and goes, I think I might search ahead a little bit. There are many hidden canyons and dangers here. You humans are unfamiliar with the territory. I won't go too far, but I'll just keep an eye out for any dangers you might have missed. With that,
thank you all. The extra eyes are appreciated. We'll yell out of you if we need.
I'm sure you will. With that, you watch as Ztar bows his head and then begins to take off at a light jog, disappearing into the distance, before taking a sidetrack down the sides of a canyon wall, disappearing from view. Perfect. That gets a player character out of my hair for a little bit. As Gark, Miki, Neivien, and Alaran, as you continue on for another half an hour, you suddenly hear the sounds of shouting coming from up ahead, a voice, calling from the distance, calling for help. And as you rush forwards, shouldering your packs, climbing over boulders, you can see a curly-haired man wearing grey robes lurching into view as he climbs the top of a small rise, turning in fear, looking at something behind him before turning to the front and seeing you. You watch as he pauses for a second, his eyes wide. I'm going to share an image of what you see on the overlay. You'll see his picture appearing now. He looks to be maybe early 40s, maybe early to mid 40s, greyish blonde curly hair with a bit of a beard, dressed in these greys and browns. His arm is bound, his right arm is actually bound in a sling, and you can see pain spren, these translucent orange hands trying to grip at his arm, manifesting in the air around him. There are numerous cuts and gashes across his face, across his arms, and you can see dried blood across his clothing. And as he spies you from on top of the rise and calls out to you, he goes, "Help!" Hope alight in his face as he stumbles. It's at that point you hear the baying cries of animals behind him. Axehounds from the sound of it. This almost chittering bark that rises in inflection with a bit of a trumpet-like sound to it. And emerging from the top of the rise, chasing him down, you can see a pack of these large wolf-like crustaceans. That is going to be taking us into our first initiative. Let me bring you over to a map, and I will bring us all onto the correct map. That's our world map. I was going to share that later. Let me bring us into our battle map. As you look at the landscape in front of you, you will see your characters on the map. They should be already linked to your character sheets, if I've done this correctly. So if you double click on your character sheets, it should all be properly involved. And when I click on turn order, you will see you've already all had your turns added to the turn order. Now, the way that initiative works in Cosmere is a little bit different to D&D. Rather than you taking an initiative roll and having a dice value that is then used to determine, instead, what you do is you decide whether or not you're going to take a fast or a slow turn. Turn order over there. So to signify that, we're going to use S and F on the turn order. And if you click on your token on the actual turn order, you should be able to select on the turn order on the initiative track. You should be able to select that number, the 0, and change it to an S or an F. So, nope, not allowed to. That's okay. If you tell me, I can enter it in. That's easy enough. Now, my question is, I'll paint the scene for you as well. In front of you, you can see that as you climbed over these boulders, there is a small canyon in front of you. This is very much easy to climb over. Like, we're talking 5-10 feet tall at the very tallest point. Rising over the rocks, moving in a pack, you can see 5 axehounds running down this gentleman. As he gets in range of you, he stumbles behind you, Miki, collapsing to the ground behind the rocks, pointing at the axehounds. "They attacked us out of nowhere! Quick, please, you've got to save me!" And that is the beginning of the combat. So, what I would like at the beginning of the combat is each of you to tell me whether you would like to take a fast or a slow turn. A fast turn means you get 2 actions. A slow turn means you take 3 actions. So,
We got
Gark.
fast turn.
Okay, let's go. Miki, fast turn. F for you. Neivien?
Slow.
Slow turn. Gark?
I'm going to go. Which one was the 2-1 fast?
Fast, yep. And
Yeah, I'm
Alaran.
going to go fast.
I was going to do fast, but I think that I'll go slow with Neivien.
Slow
2 and
with
2.
Vedan. Okay, so the way it works is we have the fast turns go first, followed by the slow turns. NPCs and adversaries always go after player characters, so you will all be first in the rounds. So to start us off, and this is the really cool thing, Miki and Gark, as the 2 player characters picking to do your fast turns, your turns take place at the same time, which means that you can coordinate actions to work together. You don't have to be like, Gark is going to do these things and then it's Miki's turn. You all work together in these moments. So, Gark and Miki, you've each got 2 turns. If you look at your list of actions, you will have a number of things that you can do, some of which are related to your chosen path, which we should have done a little bit of an intro of. I realize this is a chance. I should have done that at the beginning of the session. That's okay. We'll go through it. We'll go through it once we get to the end of each of your paths. But you'll also have standard actions that each of you can take. Things like making an attack, taking an action to try and like disengage. All of these things are actions that you can take at any point. So, what would the 2 of you like to do?
Gark, I'll take the point. I'll take the attack from them. You do what you need.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, yeah, Miki's just going to dash straight forwards towards them using all of his movement. Just realized trying to select Miki, I'm not able to. What I would do is do my 25-foot movement, move him directly towards all of them. That'll be my first action. And then the second action is to... can I go on the diagonals as 5?
Yes, absolutely. You should have control of Miki.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. You might just have to move him. If we can get him just going straight forwards. I'm gonna one action for movement, and then the second thing. Well, have we collected a shield or anything? Because I'd like to brace or do some sort of like defensive action.
So you don't have to have a shield to brace. You can also use the environment to brace as well. So Miki, if you were to rush forwards to these rocks that you can see right in front of you, you will now have control over your character sheet. I realize how that work. If any of you can't click on your tokens, let me know and I'll quickly give you the control. It should be everyone though. I think it was just with.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, if you rush on over to the boulders there, Miki, you can use that as cover to try and use for the brace. Unfortunately, you didn't get a shield from any of the items recovered from the caravan.
I will use there's like a little alcove in this rock here, and so I run out straight and then cut a line, go right, and try to pull them towards me as I brace in this little alcove, using that for defense.
Perfect. So your two moves are move and brace.
And brace. Yep.
Love it. Nice and easy. So for brace, the way brace works, move is really obvious. The way brace works, I'll talk through them quickly so that we get an understanding of them as we go. Brace, all attacks against you gain disadvantage for as long as you stay behind cover. If you did have like a tower shield, you could use that while moving to keep that brace going. But at the moment, you're using the environment, the rocky outcroppings to kind of help you brace. Awesome sauce. Gark, you're also moving on a fast turn. You've got 2 actions. What would you like to do?
I would like to move over to this wounded gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, so 5, 10, 15. Move to there, just to keep him protected. And then I'd like to use gain advantage to try and use gain advantage. I'll read it out so the audience knows. You use one of your skills to seek the upper hand over your opponent, such as through clever tactics, unexpected feints, or superior strength. I'd like to use my lore to try and deduce weaknesses that axehounds have so that I can tell my allies where to hit and all of that sort of stuff.
100%. So yeah, your 2 actions, move and gain advantage. Easy done. Alrighty, so I'm going to say...
Could I add one extra thing?
Yeah.
Possibly stretching the use of banter with my short spear I collected previously.
Yes.
I'm running up towards him and like whacking it on the ground and scratching it, trying to draw their attention towards me.
Yeah, I'm happy to have that as a free action. That's fine. That's not a problem.
Awesome, thank you.
If it's not covered in the rules, I mean technically it falls under interact, but I'm happy to be a little bit loosey goosey with that because it's not like a full interaction, not like you're using an item, you're just banging the spear as you run. I'm happy to rule that. Gark, for your check, I'm going to say this probably falls under, I would say either deduction or survival would probably be the 2 skills. So you can pick which one you like out of those 2 to try and figure out.
Go for deduction.
I thought you might figure out what you know of axehounds.
I know it says gain an advantage. Does it mean I roll with advantage or do I just roll?
So the gain advantage is you actually gain an advantage to use on a future attack or a future action. Okay. So you bank an advantage that you can use later.
Cool. So I'll just roll that now then. Oh, I've rolled it on Demiplane. Let's see if that transfers over. I rolled a 22. It's not come through on Roll20 though.
Did you roll it in the Roll20 window?
No, I rolled it on Demiplane by accident.
Nah, it won't work. You got to close the Demiplane tab. Unfortunately, we can't. It's all good. It's all good. 22 is obviously going to be a success. Gark, you know that axehounds, as these large chitinous insect-like creatures, they have a hardened exoskeleton that has joints. Imagine almost like very large, like wolfhound-sized lobsters with these large chomping chitinous jaws, these interlocking jaws. Axehounds are pack animals in terms of physical weaknesses. The gaps between their chitinous armor, the chitin is going to be very hard to cut through, but the gaps between it, if you can get a blade or a piercing weapon in, will be able to deal some heavy damage. Otherwise, they are somewhat intelligent. Axehounds are often kept and trained as pets as well. If these are wild axehounds, they're probably used to seeing humans around these areas. This is the borders of the Shattered Plains. They could potentially be scared off, either by dealing some damage to some of them, or even by attempting to like show yourself as too much of a threat to be worth it. They're intelligent enough to recognize if a situation's not going to be worth their efforts. A lone Shin man, you can see this man who's rushed towards you, pale skin, quite oval shaped, quite round shaped eyes, almost like a child's to your perspective. He's clearly from Shinovar. A lone man from Shinovar, easy target. He's got a broken arm or some sort of damage to his arm. Yeah, 100%. Like they'll take him on. 5 armed people rushing them, attacking them. You might be able to even scare them off.
Right, we can scare them off if we make lots of noise and make ourselves, I'm going to use banter to do this. We can scare them off, lots of big noises, or stab between the chitin. And then that's my turn.
Alrighty. The Axehounds. 2 of the Axehounds are taking a fast turn. The one that is closest to you, Miki, you watch as it lowers its head. You hear the sound of chomping as its mandibles crack together, and then it rushes towards you, sprinting across the landscape before launching at you, attempting to try and bite you. It is going to make a bite attack. I will roll. It does not get a plot dice for this. That is going to be an 18 to hit. This is against your physical defense, Miki. If you look at your physical defense, it'll
15.
probably... Yeah.
Does it have disadvantage?
It does have disadvantage. Thank you for reminding me. I will roll again. That is a... that's better. That's a 20. I am so sorry. It's rolling quite well. That is going to be a 1d4 plus 4 damage. That is going to be 6 points. Holy shit. 6 points of damage, Miki. Keen damage specifically. That is its 2 turns. The second Axehound is going to make a rush across. This one is making its way, not losing scent on the prey that it had before. This one makes a rush towards Gark. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, it can't quite get there. It's going to use the... It's going to do another move, essentially doing a dash. If this was D&D, it's going to use another move action. Oh no, they've got 40 feet movement. Never mind. 25, 30, 35, 40, and then it will move up the rest of the distance towards you, Gark. That is its full turn. Slow turners, Neivien and Alaran.
Oh.
Switch over to that section.
Can I, assuming everyone else is okay with it, can Neivien have had the pulley system in her backpack, unless anyone else was going to use it? No?
I don't think there's any complaints at all, mate. I don't think anyone wanted the pulley system. It's all yours.
Good.
What is a pulley system?
Can you just re-describe a little bit the landscape there, Owen? Is there?
100%.
You mentioned there was some outcrops under these rocky areas.
Yes, right? So there are massive boulders, probably that have been thrown here in the last high storm, that have cracked across the top of the plateaus. Cracks in the landscape below, leading to very, very tiny chasms to the north of where you are. To where you are right here, the landscape is actually surprisingly intact, apart from these massive boulders. Miki is currently crouching behind one of these boulders, using it as cover against the Axehound that is attacking him. The other Axehounds, one of them is on top of a boulder towards the east, the other 2 underneath, and the 2 that have rushed you were underneath it as well. It looks like this Axehound on top is probably the pack leader, judging by the fact that it is standing on top, baying at the others.
So, all right, this may not work given the layout, but here's my idea. Is there anywhere that I can get the block and tackle system tied off to a little bit of an outcrop on one of these boulders?
Yeah.
Where I can lift a smaller boulder up as like a splatter device?
Yes. The larger boulder that you are currently standing on, in front of it there are a number of smaller boulders, and this boulder is about 8 feet off the ground at that front point. It would be enough that you could use the pulley to help get a rock or a large section to the top that you could then roll down at something else below. Yes, absolutely. That's very physically possible. So you can use that as an interact. Right. That would just be an interact, but it is going to be a challenging interact because this is a very heavy thing you're trying to lift up, assisted by the use of your pulley system, but I am going to get you to roll for me. I'm going to rule either an agility or athletics, your choice.
Can I jump in here?
Yes.
And seeing the setup of this offer some sort of assistance, I was looking to command the most soldiery of the soldier forces, and looking out, watching as everyone is not engaged in that, I was thinking of commanding Miki, who seems the most in, I guess, conflict and opposition with it, and then I wanted to help with the rest of my action. So whatever that could look like to support this.
So in that case then, if you wanted to, as one of your actions, you could give advantage to Neivien. You could use the gain advantage, but give the advantage to Neivien. I'm happy to rule that you can use gain advantage and give it to other people. You don't have to keep it yourself.
Yeah, cool. I would like to give Neivien gain advantage by essentially assisting whatever this is, not knowing what anything's happening, or going, helping to move things around, looking around, hoping that the big tough guys are also doing this.
Yeah. In that case, then I'm going to say that if you wanted to use your agility or athletics as a test, if you pass on this test, you can then help Neivien.
Okay.
Give advantage to Neivien.
I think through that, Nevien's kind of gone into business mode a little bit, doing something that's kind of practical and a little bit inventory. She's kind of just pointing at things. Alaran, get her on that side. Quick, hurry up. Get her to the rock.
Alaran is fast, so I'm going to do an agility test here.
Perfect.
Rue is not so fast.
10. Alaran, flashes of the night before are still etched into your mind. That moment of fear. When you genuinely, for the first time in your life, realize that you could die. Just die. At any moment. Out here on the Shattered Plains, when the Shard Bearer attacks, you could have died right then when the soldiers attacked. Literally. And you don't know if anyone would have found your body or given a shit. Pretty scary. And now, facing down a group of axehounds charging. The last axehound you saw was a gentle creature, owned maybe by a cousin, maybe by a friend. These are twice the size, blood dripping from one of their maws. This is not an axehound as you've seen it. It's like comparing a wolf to a cavoodle. You are really struggling in this moment. Neivien, you are not rolling with advantage, I'm sorry.
That's okay. What am I rolling anyway?
Agility or athletics, your choice.
Oh, I'm so good at both of those.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to say athletics because while she is trying to move quickly, it's more so taking a fair bit of her energy to be pushing these rocks around and moving the ropes and things.
For sure. And it is helping, the pulley system, for sure.
I didn't roll. There it is.
I believe. I know this is going to be good. Oh, it's not. It's a 3. Neivien, as you go to haul the rock up the side using the pulley system, there is one fundamental part of this that you had not fully grasped. How to attach the ropes to the rock that doesn't involve the rock just immediately rolling and the ropes flicking back out against the other side. You realize in this moment, the pulley system is not a fast tool, and as time is precious, you realize you're going to need a bit of extra space to be able to do this, and a bit of breathing room to set up a trap like this in future, or some sort of fabrial. In your mind, you start to have these flashes of inspiration. A fabrial, maybe with a spring that could be preloaded to exert that force for you at a time of need. You need a moment to come up with this. Not right now in combat. But this is good. This is a learning experience for you.
Possibly the last one ever.
A flash of inspiration about a future fabrial that could help in these critical moments.
So if I understand correctly, that means I have 2 further actions.
Both you and Alaran both have 2 actions left.
Okay. I'm going to just cast my eyes around in a panic to try to find a sharpish rock. That is kind of something I can hold in a hand, and then go hide behind the big rock that I'm standing on.
Okay. So you can use Brace as one of your actions and Interact to grab yourself a nice sharp rock as an improvised weapon. So you have an improvised weapon, and Brace, disadvantage on attacks against you. No problems at all.
Perfect.
Alaran.
Okay. Alaran is going to panic after this, is frozen from that moment of remembering last night, and then freaks out and goes to turn and run, and instead freezes, gets stuck, starts to panic and a flashback to the night before, and then reaches down to grab the dagger at his hilt, and it's not there. He gave it to the officer in the last session. And then he kind of pulls his self together, and with a voice that doesn't even sound like his, he uses decisive command and calls to Miki to down the beast with ferocity.
This is one of your special path actions.
Yeah. So decisive command allows me to spend a focus to give an ally within 20 feet, which maybe I have to move up a little bit closer to.
You are going to have to move closer to Miki. Definitely.
Okay. Well, in that case, I walk to the very cusp of the edge of the rock, and almost like Rafiki standing up on Pride Rock, sending out some sort of command.
You start shouting
kind of
out
like
to them.
that.
Yeah. Gark did say loud noises would scare off the Axehounds.
To Miki, a kind of attempted recreation of an older man's voice as he uses his first focus, and gives Miki a 1d4 command die to spend on his next test.
So this is essentially like a bardic inspiration. In Cosmere, they're not bards per se, but you do have essentially like a d4 that you can add to your next test, Miki, that you choose. So this could be an attack roll, could be another skill check. It's up to you.
Great, thank you.
Alrighty. Alaran, that is your three actions. The movement does count as one of your actions. It's not a free thing, so that takes us on to the slow moves of the Axehounds. The remaining 3 Axehounds very, very quickly close the gap. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's going to be against you, Miki.
There were more. I didn't even see that one.
Yeah. 30, 35, 40. It's going to then move its other movement to rush towards Neivien. And Alaran, you've also got one rushing towards you as well. They're going to have to use 2 of their actions to get there, though. Miki, Axehounds have a special feature. In D&D, you might remember wolves have a thing called pack tactics.
Pack tactics.
Axehounds have a similar thing that they can do called pack instincts. While within 5 feet of an ally, the Axehound can use the gain advantage action as a free action, which means that this attack is going to cancel out the disadvantage from your brace position. So it's just going to be a standard roll against you for this first attack as it does its bite. Well, first and only attack. They only have one attack.
I think I have some ability to give disadvantage. Is there some reaction I can do for that? I'm just trying to...
Each of you does have a reaction that you can spend. If you click on the...
Dodge.
Yep.
Before an enemy attacks, you can use this reaction to spend one focus to gain disadvantage through the attack test.
Yeah, 100%. I'll roll that with disadvantage. Thank you for calling that out. This is your one and only reaction you get in between things. All right, let's roll that with disadvantage, because that was going to be a 16, the first one to hit. Let's see with disadvantage. Oh, 14. That misses, doesn't it? With
very good.
Physical defensive 15. Very, very nice. As the Axehound chomps down, you manage to dodge back underneath and behind the boulder, Miki, just getting out of harm's way. As we are now moving right into the zone of this, I'll bring us in a little bit closer. Alaran, this Axehound is going to make an attack against you. This is just normal attack. There's no advantages or disadvantages. Alaran does a... Oh, it's an 18. I'm thinking that probably hits. That is going to be maximum damage. 8 points of keen damage. I am so sorry. I rolled a 4 and it's +4. How are you doing, Alaran? Are you okay?
I actually don't know where I'm seeing keen damage.
So keen is just a type of damage. So some armors will protect you against that. You guys are completely unequipped and level 1, so don't worry too much. I'm giving the types just so we get into the habit of saying them, but you're fucked. It's all good. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, Alaran's coat is definitely damaged again.
Yeah,
but more than that is that he...
Oh, shit.
Probably gored a little bit. He's the closest to death he has ever been right now. This thing has torn up his arm or torn up his leg in some way. And he just lets out.
Stubbing your toe is the closest to death he'd ever been before this, right?
Yes. Yeah. And he lets out like just this blood curdling scream that reminds you that in some ways he is still a child.
I'm going to be exceptionally nice as a DM. Did you want to use your reaction to dodge and try and impose disadvantage? He's really.
I think
only because we're new. Only because we're new to this. I want to make sure we're doing everything fairly.
I was kind of describing him being frozen, but yes, I should have done so.
Okay.
Thank you for offering.
It's okay.
That.
This is a completely new system that we're playing tonight. I am more than happy to use the reactions. So you only get one reaction between turns. I will do.
Yeah, I've used the dodge.
I will roll that strike again. Let's see if that would have still hit you. That is going to be an 8. Wipe out that damage. You are fine. In this moment, what we just described is what Alaran sees as the Axehound bears down towards him, ready to strike. Alaran, you have this momentary vision of yourself ripped apart by this thing, torn in its jaws. And in that moment, your legs turn to jelly and you drop. It's not that you dodge. It's just you're so scared, your legs give out and you fall to the ground, the Axehound's jaws clamping above, missing you very narrow.
Yeah.
Neivien, this attack is going to have disadvantage because you have already used your brace to hide yourself. That is going to be, the first one was a 15. The second one is a 7. I think you're safe.
The
physical defense.
First one hits.
No. It's only one attack. It's with disadvantage. I was just letting you know what the first roll was. So it's an 8 is the total. You're fine.
Thank fuck for that. I am fine. But rather than actually dodging with that brace, instinctively and probably ill-advisedly, when it goes to attack her and clamp jaws around her, she shoves the rock into its mouth and it bites down on the rock instead.
Clamping down, you see the boulder inside her mouth, inside the creature's mouth, shatter underneath the articulated, clamping, pincer-like jaws. As the boulder shatters, Neivien, showering you with this rock dust, you see the creature trumpet right into your face, this baying, trumpeting howl. Gark, the final attack is against you. This is just a standard attack, no advantages, no disadvantages. That is going to be... that is a 23. I am so sorry.
Isn't that the one that moved up to me last turn, though?
Oh, it is 2. It doesn't get a turn. I am already anticipating its next turn. I'll keep that for the next one. Back at the top of the round, Miki and Gark, it is your turn.
Okay, do we stay with the fast and short turns, or can we swap?
We now get to choose again what you would like to take as your approach.
Would my brace still be active if I chose alone?
So the brace... Great question. Brace, I believe, is active and for as long as you stay behind cover. If you attack or move, the benefits are lost.
Okay, great. I'm going to... Can I take multiple attack actions on my turn?
Yeah.
Is that... Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's absolutely fine.
I'm going to take it slow. Go slow.
Slow for Miki. Gark.
I'm going to go slow as... No, I'm going to go fast, sorry.
Fast, absolutely. The Neivien. Not the Neivien. Neivien.
The one and only Neivien is going to take another slow.
Okay, another slow for Neivien and Alaran.
I think in this moment I need to move to fast. I feel like I just need to get in before anything else goes wrong.
Absolutely. The Axehounds are both going to take fast moves this round. Alrighty. So, we have Gark and Alaran taking fast moves. You're up first.
Does it matter which one of us goes first?
No. You can act together. You act together with your actions in Cosmere, which is super nice. A little bit like Avatar RPG.
I'd very much like to use an action. Obviously, because I have 2 of them. I'd like to use a skill, and I'd like to attempt to intimidate these things and give myself advantage from my previous roll.
You've already got advantage from the previous one, so absolutely, you may roll intimidation with advantage.
That's not how you roll the roll.
How do you intimidate as well? So I can paint the picture.
I know that loud noises are required, so I'm very much going to be sort of arms in the air, waving them around, sort of pick two rocks up and start smashing them together, and start going, ooh, to try and sort of scare them off.
Yeah, nice. Fantastic. I love it. Yeah, give me
Anybody with a high perception would notice that Gark is not wielding a weapon at all. He has weapons on his back,
got a whole
but
bag
he's not
full
drawn any of them.
Yeah, cool. I thought that was the case.
Oh no.
That's a natural one with a complication, but you have advantage, luckily. So
yeah, how come I didn't roll with advantage?
I'm also so before you do this, I was also going to say this is definitely one of the times where you as a player, if you wanted to, could call for a plot dice to be added. And I would, as a DM, go, yeah, this is a pretty important moment. I think that's a cool time to add a plot dice.
May I add a plot dice, please?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man, add the plot dice.
Roll.
So this the natural one doesn't count anyway because it was with advantage. But yeah, next roll you make, you can roll with the plot dice.
How do I roll a plot dice on here?
So there'll be a raise the stakes button underneath your skills, and if you click raise the stakes, it'll add a plot dice.
Oh yes. There we go. Aha.
Which I do really like.
There we go. Oh, natural 20.
Holy shit, balancing it out. And what was the and the result on the plot dice was a 0. We've had a tangent. I didn't see it come through on the I didn't see it come through on the disadvantage. Let me have a quick look and see if it's been put through in the points redeem. I'll double check and see, but I'll look into that for you in a second. That's weird. I can refund it anyway. It's not been I can't see it. I'll have a look later. Mate. I'll figure that out. So that's a natural 20, which means you get an opportunity automatically, as well as the result being a 21. So Gark, as you stand up in front of this shin man cowering beneath you, heavily injured, as he looks towards you with fear in his eyes, the Axehound bearing down on the two of you as it goes to bite you. He goes, "No, please!" And then you turn, pick up two rocks and go, oh, just standing in place. You watch as the Axehound pauses for a second, slowly begins to turn as it looking for an opening. You sort of follow it around, beating these two rocks together, standing up, looking like looming over the top of it. And you watch as it slowly begins to push back a little bit. The antlers, the antennae rising from its head, these kind of feathered moth-like antennae, push back, lower down, press hard against the side of its chitinous armor. Hear this strange sort of chittering noise come from its mouth as it slowly turns and sinks away. One of the other Axehounds, pausing, looks towards it and peels off as well, one of the ones attacking Miki. You watch as two of the Axehounds and the one attacking Alaran immediately begin to back away. And they're the ones taking one of the fast turns. They're going to use their fast turn to essentially back off and move away to disengage. Unless any of you wants to use your... it's not like an attack of opportunity, but you kind of get like a reactive attack, a reactive strike, which is a reaction. If any of you wanted to, you can.
Does my reaction come back between rounds or between turns?
Between rounds, it comes back. So the reaction at the end of a round, all things reset that you spent.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to use the opportunity attack or whatever it's
reactive
called.
Strike. Absolutely. So the way reactive strikes... the way the reactive strikes work is you spend a focus, costs you a focus to do it, and then you can make a melee weapon attack or an unarmed attack against the enemy's physical defense.
Okay, so I will get my weapon, my short spear, and give her a crack.
Absolutely. That's a natural 20.
Oh, very good.
Doing all right.
So, holy shit for a start. That's going to be 11 points of damage against the Axehound, which, if I'm not mistaken... How do you want to do this?
The aforementioned info of look between the plates of armor
Yep.
As this thing turns, it like exposes part of its neck, and I just like over the top short spear, see the gap, raise it over shoulder, sort of stab down, and like place it into its neck, and it's like lodges itself into the ground.
Amazing.
I think would turn towards the Axehound right beside me, in preparation for my turn.
Amazing. That's incredible. The way criticals work in Cosmere is actually not too dissimilar to the maximized criticals, the better criticals we were using in D&D. They're not quite as good. In Cosmere, rather than adding damage by rolling a dice again or things like that, you just get the maximum damage dice. It just guarantees you do the maximum dice, maximum possible number on the dice, on all dice involved in the hit. So if you were doing like any extra things on top of that, if you were using any features that added damage dice, you'd roll like a d6 and a d8. You'd get 6 plus 8. You get the maximum dice number. So not too dissimilar to how we were doing the better criticals in D&D. Holy shit,
For
mate.
sure.
Incredible.
Great.
Absolutely incredible. As the chitin cracks, you push the short spear, moving between a gap in the plates, as Gark kind of called out to you before. The short spear crushing through, piercing the heart in one smooth strike, Miki. You've hunted Axehounds before and other Rosharan creatures. As your spear finds that critical point, pushing between the gap and the chitin, you watch as the creature cries out and immediately drops. Its life ended in a single push. So fast, no pain spren, no fear spren drawn in that single moment as you crack through and kill the Axehound in a single moment. Is anyone else making any reactive strikes or... Cool. Gark, you've still technically got one action left. Alaran, you've still technically got 2 actions left, as 2 of these Axehounds look like they're willing to get out of here and run.
Yeah, I would like to, with my last action, use Strike and throw one of the 2 rocks that I picked up at the one that is attacking Neivien, so that I can try and get its attention.
Yeah, 100%. I am more than happy to do that just as an improvised weapon. Use your agility rather than your strength, I'd say. No, yeah. Use agility rather than athletics for this, I'd say. Yeah. The ranged attack, you kind of throwing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where, because it's telling me to click form, choose form for my improvised weapon. Which is
right. But, you can do it as if it was a short bow. That's the closest. Or a sling. Okay, cool. Sling. Do it as if it's a sling. Sling's the closest I can think of. That's pretty spot on, actually.
It's not giving me any ranged weapons. It's only giving me close combat weapons.
That's okay. In that case, then, do it as a hammer. If you've got the option for a hammer.
Cool. Hammer time. 1 second. Hammer. There we go.
Closest I can think of. I really love the way it shows the opportunities and complications on the overlay. That graphical interface is so nice. Oh, that's a 5. That's not so great, mate. As you throw the rock, it just bounces off the side of the Axehound attacking Neivien, and you watch as it slowly turns towards you, the antennae quivering as it locks eyes with you, and you see it begin to salivate as it looks towards you, Gark. It doesn't seem scared. Alaran, you've still got some actions, my friend. 2 of them, to be precise.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same line as Gark there, turning, seeing that Miki has taken this one out, other 2 have backed away, seeing Neivien in trouble. My thought was to either throw the rock at the Axehound that would do nothing potentially, or throw the rock at Neivien to knock her off the rock out of its range. And then realizing that neither of those are helpful or appropriate. I genuinely do not know what to do right now, other than to potentially throw a rock at the Axehound just to even get its attention from Neivien, momentarily trying to...
So you've got 2 actions. You could use one of your actions to gain advantage and give that advantage to Neivien. I'm happy for when you guys do the gain advantage, I'm happy for you to give it to other characters. Not strictly rules as written, but I'm more than happy for that. I think that's a worthy sacrifice to share advantage to another person. And as long as the skill makes sense, as long as what you're describing makes sense, I'm more than happy to rule that that's allowed.
Okay. Yep, so a gain advantage for a skill check.
So you pick a skill you want to roll against, you want to test, and then if you succeed, you can then give an advantage to yourself on another skill check or another attack, or give it to someone else.
I'm thinking, what if I gave an agility check by reaching a hand out to Neivien and essentially like pulling her out of the Axehound's reach?
Yep. Yep. I'm happy to allow that.
Okay.
I would say this falls under probably agility or athletics itself. I am tempted, though, to have this be kind of like a leadership test in a way. I would allow that as well. This is a moment of like you pulling one of your friends to safety to... Yeah, I think leadership kind of falls under this too. Your choice.
Both of them have the same ability in terms of stat. I'm thinking in terms of leadership. Yeah. I think in this moment, it's just panic. It's not a moment of leadership. Cool. It is purely agility. Like, yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be an agility check here.
That makes sense.
Let me roll that.
As chat has suggested, I don't want to condone kicking the dog. But if you are being attacked by savage lobster dogs, I think it's okay to kick out to try and get yourself to safety. I think that's I condone that kind of behavior. 18 total agility. Absolutely, Alaran. Neivien, as you're kind of like carrying there as this creature is kind of trying to tear you apart, you suddenly feel a hand grab at yours, ripping around the glove that hides your safe hand, and try to pull you out of the way of danger. On your turn, Neivien, you can make a disengage as a free action.
Wonderful. Out of curiosity, does them grabbing my hand
feel away anything
hurt, or
no.
Is there a feeling
doesn't hurt
on their side?
Doesn't hurt, and in the moment of fear, I don't think Alaran would notice too much, but we might talk about that later.
Okay.
Cool. With my second move, with my second action, I'm tempted to just ask if that could be a move, because obviously moving into that space to get in for the help, and then
that makes perfect sense.
And then obviously I'm in range now. I've gotten myself in danger.
Yep.
Cool. That's my turn.
Cool. The Axehounds taking their fast move. One of the Axehounds is going to make a strike against... Oh, it's got so many options. Neivien or Alaran. Josh, please. I can't pick. Could you roll me a d4? 1-2 is Neivien. 3-4 is Alaran. If anything goes wrong, it's your fault, not mine.
Could I request that because Alaran was doing his entire thing to protect Neivien, Nevien's done that?
He's kind of getting in the way?
Yep.
Done. I will allow that. Absolutely. Alaran, this attack is coming for you then, in that case. That is going to be... not with plot dice. Wow. I rolled a 19. Plus 4 is 23. Alaran, we might be about to see you get humbled, my friend.
I was going to say, can I dodge this?
Yes, absolutely. No, you can. It's a reaction. You can absolutely do it. 100%.
Yeah, cool.
That is going to be a 15 total then.
Oh.
Is that your armor class?
So he does like a pirouette, and then it just catches on his arm as he thinks he's gotten out of it. And yes, he is been bitten with a defense of 13.
All right, that is going to be 7 points of keen damage. The moment that where you glimpsed the future before, Alaran, has come true. As you attempt to save Neivien, the Axehound bites into you and tears you apart, ripping into you. That is brutal damage. I mean, there is a funny quirk that I haven't talked about, but like in the Voran religion, seeing the future, predicting the future is actually like a really taboo thing. So kind of what we described of Alaran having this little momentary vision is actually horrifically bad in the Voran Church, Alaran. Like this is, you get excommunicated for this kind of shit. Like games of chance or betting are kind of not even really played because of that whole thing of like seeing the future. It's an interesting little tidbit about the culture. Alrighty, the second Axehound is going to make an attack against Miki. Miki, you're still protected behind this boulder, which is going to give you
I did
disadvantage.
attack, actually. So
Oh, you did attack? True, that is true. It will have its normal attack then. That is a natural 1, which is going to not only be a miss, but also a complication for the Axehound. You watch as the Axehound attempts to strike at you, Miki, but instead one of its hind claws gets stuck inside a section of the shattered sort of debris around where this rock has been slammed down, probably by a high storm. And as it gets stuck, you watch as it tips and falls prone. It is then going to attempt to stand, but that is going to use up its remaining turn as part of its movement. Miki and Neivien. Your turns.
After you, Miki.
Those two other Axehounds
absolutely.
are fully fucked off at this point. They sprint off into the
With
distance.
Your little hounds things, get out of here, your axehounds, your silly little things. And I turn down, looking at this
Get
one
out!
just near me.
Get out, Axehounds! Get out!
You silly thing, you'll feel your fate right here. And I get the short spear and just go to stab it in the belly.
Nice. You got 3 actions, so you can stab it 3 times if you want.
Hoping not to need that many, but that's probably what's going to happen.
Get to the shattered plains.
Get out of the shattered blades! 18 is obviously a hit. That's going to be 9 points of damage. Very nice.
Very good. Is it still standing?
It's still standing.
Okay. Round 2.
Round 2.
Let's do a re-roll. Click the re-roll button. See. No, I don't. Re-roll's not what I want.
Do it as a, yeah.
Use that again.
Yeah. I believe.
Gotcha.
12
That'll be a
is
12.
actually...
Can I retrospectively
Hello?
add the D4?
Yes, I
It
will
does
allow that.
say I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you can add it
says-
after anyway. From
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
All right. I've clicked. I press the. There we go. The custom roll. That's
4. That takes it up to 16. That is a hit. That's going to be 11 points of damage from the short spear. Miki, how
And
do you do this?
the cracking of this stick on the armor, I'm doing it as loudly as I can. So making those other 2 run away and glaring over to the other one amongst the others.
You can see the one that's attacking
right.
Alaran and Neivien is a bit smaller than the others, and as you strike at this one, Miki, this was the one that seemed to kind of be leading the others a little bit. As you spear through, slicing something vital internal, as the Axehound drops, you can see the other smaller one is already looking like it's ready to get out of here. This is not worth it.
So I want to take an action, so use a skill for intimidation.
Yep.
And that would basically be to like slowly turn with this Axehound on the spear.
Yep.
Just like be turning and it's sort of dragging along the side as I pivot on the spot.
Yep. So
And I
Axehounds,
said-
I think, have orange blood as well from memory. This like bright orange blood as it coats your short spear, Miki, as you sort of spray the spear down, a few drops of this orange blood splattering the stone at your feet. It's bright and vibrant and horrifying. Make me an intimidation check. I'm going to say that you can add the plot dice to this if you wish.
Absolutely. And
This is a-
as I do that, I'm not sure if this could be a rock eater thing, an Unkalaki thing, but maybe like the blood of things you've slain, like he dips his hand onto the blood of the animal and like the spear he's got, he like takes 2 fingers with the 2 axehounds he's got and 2 lines get drawn on there. And like he just like looks at it, looking for it, and a 3rd finger pops up.
It never discussed as a specific Unkalaki thing, but I'm more than happy to say this is a Miki thing to
Awesome.
mark the 100%. You don't know how intelligent the Axehound is to be able to see this, to understand that it's 3rd. But with a 22, the message is well and truly delivered on that intimidation check. You can see the Axehound is already dropping into this far more submissive stance. Again, those antennae pressing back against the long, chitin-covered neck. The eyes sort of drooping down as it lowers its head and neck, pulling itself into this much smaller, more compact form. The fight is gone out of this thing. It is not interested in battling any longer. It wants to flee.
Great. That's 3 actions and like free action Be gone, little thing.
Neivien, you've got 3 actions you can take.
Seeing this kind of change in its stance and everything, and this is obviously making this up on the fly, so it's entirely up to you, but I would imagine, given she's from a bit of a middling level house, would it be fair to say that her father would have kept axehounds, maybe even had an entire kennel for breeding?
Yeah. Axehounds are used in racing and in fighting pits, I'm sad to say, across Vedan and across other locations. Neivien, I'm even happy to say, we're going to tie into the books a little bit here. Your father won an Axehound and some money off a Balat Devar, another house in Vedan. Balat, unfortunately, a bit of a gambling problem, the house losing money quite rapidly. Your father was able to win one of his prized axehounds and some money off a Balat Devar.
Interesting.
Let's tie it into the novels as much as we can, hey?
I love that. Knowing axehounds
specifically, I should say.
Knowing axehounds a little bit in that case, and knowing their mannerisms and that sort of a thing, do these look like they're actually wild feral axehounds, or are these axehounds that have maybe within their lifetime escaped from the war camps and formed a pack?
Really good question. I am going to say this falls under a survival or deduction test. Your choice, Neivien.
Ooh, I'm gonna
deduction's +4, survival's +3. So I suspect, deduction. I thought it might be that. Great question. It is not unusual to 21, 17 +4. Neivien, not all of the axehounds. This looks like a pack that's come together. This particular axehound, it is smaller than the others. You think it might have been potentially at some point raised in captivity. It is a known feature that a number of the axehounds that are born and raised in captivity tend to be a bit smaller than their wild cousins. It's not quite sure why. This one might have once been a hunting dog, a hunting axehound. It might have once been a guard axehound from one of the war camps that has since escaped, been let loose. Who knows? It is far more acclimatized to people. The other axehound, the one that looked like it was a bit more of an alpha, was also clearly acclimatized to people. It was fearless of them, which is a bit unusual for wild axehounds to be completely fearless of people. It's because it's grown up around humans. It knows that humans mean food. It doesn't have that fear that wild animals have. Now that the alpha is dead, this smaller one, do you think there's a chance here that you could, potentially you could attempt to try and either scare this off or maybe attempt something else?
You read my mind. Knowing a little bit about axehounds in that case, I'm going to assume if this has been a guard hound in its life, it would have had a significant level of training at one point.
Possibly. If it was a guard, maybe not so much. But if it was a hunting dog, yeah, for sure.
Just seeing its current posture, seeing the situation, she's just going to have a crack and look at it and point at the ground and say, "Dane, sit down."
Okay. Could I get you to roll for me? I'm going to say the closest this would be, and I know this isn't going to be a great stat for you, sorry, Neivien, is probably leadership as you try and command this creature.
Could I argue persuasion?
I will allow it. Persuasion or leadership, your choice.
All right.
This is your second action. I will allow. Oh, it's a natural one. Neivien. Neivien. Yeah, you've got this. You watch as the axehound slowly lowers itself, and in that moment, Disney princess moment. You lower your hand, ready to give this thing a pat. This is your friend. As soon as you... Oh! You've been given advantage by chat. Tabs, very timely.
You, chat.
You may roll
lovely,
this.
Lovely.
You may roll... Hang on, whoa, I gotta wait. I think someone's about to cancel this with disadvantage, potentially. Hang on, I'll give it a second.
No,
if they do... if they do,
if
they do, that's a dick move. You may roll this again and use... No, it's all good. You may roll this again.
Tabs, thank you.
Not that much better.
Not much better.
3 plus 3 is a total of 6.
Am I able to use a reaction to use aid?
Yeah. So let's have a little
Spend
look.
a focus point. You step in to help an ally, and I'm just like to try and seeing what Neiveen's trying to do, like trying to tame it.
Retame it.
I also tried to help tame it. No, I sort of calmed down with the noises now that everything else has ran off and died.
Yeah.
Big gorilla looking man stops the noises. And
rather than a silverback, you're kind of a silver
around,
chest with your like white
big silver
Theylan
chest. I want to try and like move around with my hands.
Yeah.
I'm going to produce some of the food that we have.
Okay.
Hold out to it to help Neivien.
Now, normally you can't stack advantages. However, I am willing to allow. Neivien, you may roll this.
Oof. The DM is being extra friendly tonight.
It's your first time playing with a lot of these mechanics. I'm happy as we get.
Oh my god!
It's getting higher.
Neivien sucks.
Bad dog.
The best bit is you've got +3 to this. That's like one of the highest stats you guys could have at level
It's
1.
cooked.
So that's a total of 8. Hey, at least it's not the complication. Neivien, as you like lean down, it doesn't just tear your fucking hand off, which is what would have happened with the natural one. It was going to get a free attack against you. Instead, as you sort of go to bend down, you're not sure what it is, Neivien. Maybe it's the wrong command. Maybe it's been too long in the wild. But you watch as the Axehound, clearly fearful of you, begins to move backing away very slowly. It does not seem interested in being your friend, I am sorry to say.
It's worth a crack.
You can buy Axehounds. Like these are, Neivien, your father's purchased them and won them in bets. You can purchase them. I will. Yeah, that's a great call. That's a great call, Josh. If you want to add as a goal, a character goal, Neivien, tame an Axehound, you can. And I will give you a special reward if you are successful. You'll unlock like a special cosmetic for your special pre-order cosmetic for your Axehound.
Love it.
Yep. You've still technically got an action left, Neivien.
Seeing that this isn't working, she's just going to wave her arms around and kind of yell loudly in the hopes that it just leaves at this point.
With that, you watch as the Axehound backs off and takes away to run, disappearing into the foothills in the distance. And with that, we are out of our combat round. How sick is the way that combat is handled in Cosmere? I love the action economy. I love that everything is kind of like flows on. And unlike D&D, one of my gripes of D&D is the way attack of opportunities work. It's just like, don't move away or you'll get bonked. And your enemies can't move away or they'll get bonked. In this one, you actually have to spend a focus point to do it. And I don't know, it's good. I like it that it's like it costs you. And you don't get focus points back until you have a rest, same as health. So I like that. It's like I like the action economy.
It's much more fluid as well. I really like that.
Yeah, and like you work together. Yeah, I like that. I like that too. And when we start introducing the surges, that's a little bit of a ways away. When we start introducing the magic, that's when things get really fun. Well, for you, Neivien, when we start introducing some of your soul casting bullshit, have some fun with that. Or Fabrial bullshit. As you all watch the Axehounds disappearing into the distance, these baying howls vanishing, you watch as the man turns towards you. You can see, he is quite injured. As I described before, looks to be sort of like early 40s, blondish grey hair, long, sort of tied back a little bit, quite curly. You can see he's got a beard. Unlike most of you, he has these very round eyes that give him this kind of weird childlike quality to him. He's also a lot shorter than all of you as well. People from Shinovar have a much more sort of Western appearance, where most of Roshar, the rest of Roshar, has a much more sort of Eastern appearance. And so, as a result, this man to you looks a little bit different than what you've seen around. For those of you who aren't used to seeing people from Shinovar before, as he turns towards you, coughing for a moment, he looks up towards you. I can't believe you did that. I'm so grateful for your intervention. You have my thanks. You may call me Tazo San Cluthio. My friends call me Tazo.
Tazo, what are you doing out here by yourself? If we were not here, you would be dead.
I would be, and I'm grateful for your assistance. I was not by myself when these creatures attacked. There were 4 of us traveling towards the Alethi warcamps. My friends, my brother. You watch as he turns back towards the ridge that the Axehounds disappeared over. You can see a body, half chewed, lying on the top of one of the stones. You watch as he shakes his head. I am alone now. Where are you headed? You are right. It's not safe for me to be out here by myself. If you would allow me to accompany you to wherever you're headed, I would be most grateful.
You're lucky. Our goals intertwine. We are heading that way. You may are looking around. Lady? Bright lady, what do you think?
I think any extra people on this trip, considering all the rest of this, is going to be beneficial. Did you come across any large forces of people at all in the last day or so?
Why, yes. We had passed by a group of soldiers bearing no banners, no sigils. I let you call them glyphs. Passed by maybe a day or two ago. Wandering away from the plains, we tried to call out to them, but we feared they were bandits. We decided not to speak, so we hid. That is when we disturbed the Axehounds.
Were they also heading back towards the camps?
They were heading away from the camps. I'm not sure if they've passed by again. We were ambushed by the hounds and attempted to hide from them in a series of chasms not too far from here. I was making my way back to the road, my brother and I, when they caught up to us. As he looks back with great sorrow towards his brother's corpse. And you can see, like, his body is just lying there on the stones, but Tazo makes no attempt to go near the body. He seems to be walking, stepping very carefully around any stones, taking great care to avoid treading on any of the rocks or pebbles that litter the shattered plains.
Do you find
Go on.
No, you go.
Do you find yourself handy with a dagger or a spear?
It is frowned upon to take life. We had a taker with us, but he perished against the Axehounds. I guess...
I think you'll need one. How about you take it so you don't perish yourself?
You watch as he looks down at the dagger you offer him, Miki, in horror, pulling his good left hand away. No, I cannot touch it. I'm sorry. It is the ways of my people.
I guess if that is what you insist for your people, I must respect that. Okay.
Gark, I don't believe that this gentleman is able to get over there to his brother. I believe, if I understand correct, Finn, you're not able to tread on rocks. Is that correct?
It is profane to step upon the stones, yes.
Can we Can we get your brother for you?
I would be most grateful if you could retrieve his body, Stonewalkers. Yes.
Yeah, I can go get it. I don't mind.
I'll assist you.
Really quickly look up Shin funeral rites. I get the sense we're about to perform them. I think they bury them, do they not? They would, surely. Oh, we don't know. We don't know. All we know is that it's profane to... Okay, cool. That's right. I'll figure it out then.
I guess that's about to become canonical lore then, Owen. You're about
I'll have to message Brandon and let him know.
Universe.
Yeah, we'll let Brandon know that we've come up with this. The
Brandon
soul is
Sanders
given to the
in
stones
YouTube
upon their
video.
death. The souls are given to the stones upon their death where they continue to exist. So I would say probably they're buried with a stone placed upon them. That would make sense to me, like a stone to guard them that cannot be disturbed. That would kind of make sense in the Shin stone shamanism. So yeah, as you bring the body over, you watch as Tazo begins to dig away at the earth using an existing chasm, fissure. Assists pushing the body in, pushing a layer of earth over the top. He speaks a rite in Shin. The language is this very unusual language. And if you have Shin cultural expertise, cool, then you have no fucking clue what he is saying as he just speaks quietly.
Wayfarer.
Or do you want to make me a deduction
test? Would that help?
Maybe.
Deduction, yeah.
Maybe. You might have some experience with the Shin. Let's see. 19. He is speaking a rite for the soul to be returned to the stones that guard the world, that guard the realm of men, the spirits that exist in the tones of Roshar. As he pushes the earth over and then uses his hands to pull a large stone over the surface and then sets it into the soft, loamy earth. The earth.
If it doesn't go against tradition,
he can touch
I'd like to help him move the stone as well. And I'll
exactly.
I understand that this is a funeral, right?
Yeah.
Might not fully understand what he's saying because I don't speak the language, but I would be helping him in any way that I can.
Yeah, 100%.
While being respectful.
And Gark, when either of us nod, the other one nods as well, being like, yes, we're like, doing the right thing at this moment. Yeah.
Yeah. As he finishes the rite, he places a hand on each of your shoulders, bows to each of you in turn. Thank you. There's nothing more for me here. You can see around his head a couple of shame-sprent red and white petals fall for a moment as he looks back towards his brother's grave, I guess, before turning back towards the rest of you. We should...
What is on your mind? What strikes you?
I promised my mother that I would keep my brother safe. When we were boys, when we were younger, I failed to live up to that promise today. You can see sort of quiet melancholy fall over him. As he slowly hefts the broken arm, bound hastily in bandages, he nods once. Well, do you know where to go from here? I must confess I lost track of the path, the road, when we were fleeing the Axehounds. I do not really know where we are going.
I turn to both bright ladies. Did you know the way?
Both bright ladies.
Really a lord, Miki.
Both bright ladies. Hey, Miki. No, I think to you, Miki, a specimen of manhood from the Unkalaki peaks, from the Hornida peaks. Alaran would appear as a soft, primped little princess sometimes to you. Yeah, that's probably fair. You've seen women with greater mustaches in the Hornida peaks than Alaran, certainly.
Weak jaw.
We have been relying on you lot for the way. I assumed you know where you're going.
One moment. Hey, Ztar, you know the way. I think he was watching.
Ztar left to go ahead quite a while ago. You haven't seen Ztar in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. As you sort of look around in confusion, how loudly do you call out for Ztar?
Just not like yelling, but just louder, like announcing.
I do have some good news for you. I was about to have Ztar rejoin you, rushing over, holding aloft a broken piece of wood, calling out as he goes, "You need to look out! There are And then he sees the two axehounds dead at your feet, and sort of looks around and goes, "Oh, you found them then?"
Yes, well, I found us, so thank you for the not warning. Well, let's take a moment. We need to reorientate and continue.
The road is just down this way. You're not too far. You've gone a little bit off towards the north. I'm not sure which direction you're currently headed. Oh, hello! As he sees Tazo there, as Tazo looks in amazement, eyes wide at this speaking parshman just chatting conversationally in Alethi. You watch as Tazo sort of rubs his eyes and goes, "I was not expecting to encounter a friendly Pashendi this day." You watch as Ztar shakes his head and goes, "No, not me. Friendly, yes. Pashendi, no."
Too small.
Ztar
From
nods.
stories I've heard. I meant no offense, Ztar, from that.
None taken.
Arshendia said to be quite large.
Yes, indeed. Come, the road is just this way. You're not too far off the path. Follow me. With that, Ztar leads you back down towards the main road. Alaran's pretty hurt.
Yeah.
How much health have you got left, Alaran? Like 4? 3?
I'm on 3.
Yeah, I knew it was
points,
pretty low.
And I was going to say that through that entire encounter, Alaran had kind of used the opportunity to, not quite slip away from the party, but shear down the back of that other rock side for a moment to himself where no one would have seen it because it wouldn't be appropriate for anyone to see it or comfort him in it. But he would have been hyperventilating. He would have been like holding blood in his hand for the first time from the wounds he sustained, fully consumed by himself that he's going to die. And then as that feeling, I guess, sits and it doesn't end with him dying, it then turns to tears that run down his face, and his blood is staining his hands and his coat.
Alaran, as you have that panic attack, you are surrounded by purple globules rising up from the earth, more than you've ever seen in your life. Fear spren, drawn to that moment of horror that you experience reflecting, and as more and more of them begin to cluster around you, I would say that even kind of draws forth an even deeper fear from you. This awful feeling of deep cowardice, deep fear, and then as that gives way into as it gives way into more of a sadness, I'm going to say that you draw forth a very rare type of spren, anguish spren. You watch as teeth-like spirits, these little teeth-like glowing orbs, grow from the rock around you, sharp and jagged, as you draw forth anguish spren. A few of them. To Miki, if you glance over and see Alaran in this moment, as you see him, you can see what look like jaws hidden beneath the earth, slowly closing, the teeth pushing out as they get close to Alaran.
I think in this moment, possibly even shame spren before
red and white petals.
Yeah, he vomits into the sand, tries to compose himself, but there's nothing to do. He wipes his eyes, his hair's ruffling down over his face to kind of conceal his eyes. And as he comes back around, he's trying to comport himself again poorly.
I'm gonna say as the others sort of begin to move off, you watch as Ztar kind of clocks this. Alaran, Zatar's got quite high perceptive powers. You watch as Ztar kind of clocks this, nods for the others to carry on, and then begins to move towards the back. And as he kind of walks next to you, he doesn't say anything for a moment, just walking alongside you slowly. And then slowly you watch as he turns towards you, catches your eye. Are you okay, Lordling?
I would like to attempt a deception check.
Go for it.
Because Alaran doesn't probably know how to accept the help, and it would be improper.
Yeah, let's do a test, contested check then. Let's see if I can roll from Ztar's sheet while he's not here. The question is, if he's not here to log into his sheet, can I roll directly from it? The answer is yes, I can. Okay, sweet. What was your roll? 12?
12.
Okay. What do you say in this deception? How do you deceive him?
I think as I've had some moments to compose myself, it's kind of like just this stoic coldness. Like, it's clear that he's not okay. He's covered in blood. He's recently vomited, and the smell of that is still in the sand as the party continue to move. But it's his presence that brings forth a sense of confidence that's untrue, to try and again mask back up and present himself as fine.
Yeah.
In the moment, it's not necessarily about the words that he says. It's that he doesn't feel like he needs to convince anyone of anything.
You watch
he
as
redirects it to other things.
You watch as Ztar nods, goes, I remember the first time I saw violence. I ran and hid. I was terrified. There's no shame. It's not something that I think we should get used to, but it's something that you will, human. Which is Ztar nods and then begins to walk back up towards the front of the convoy, front of the group once again, catching up to the rest of them.
Despite Alaran's best attempts, those words continue to echo around in his head as he walks.
Alrighty. For the next 4 hours, you trudge along the road with no signs of other people, no signs of any... Oh yeah, Neivien? You're muted.
Just
oh, no, you're
while
back.
we're walking, while we're walking, I just want to be fiddling with that broken span reed that I found in amongst Bright Lady's equipment.
Yes.
Not expecting that I'll be able to fix it, but if possible, that would be amazing. But I'm just kind of trying to work out what's wrong with it.
I would love a crafting check. You know that this is going to take more than one. You're going to need some time to work on this and fix it, but we'll get a crafting check now. And next bit of downtime you have, another crafting check. And if you get 2 successes, you should be able to fix this. Definitely.
Could I help with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Rolled more than high enough anyway.
Not that Neivien needs it, but yeah, for sure. You can give the help on that. If you wanna roll with advantage, Neivien, I'm happy to just do it that way. That's easy.
Excellent. All right.
Walk over to seeing Neivien sort of fiddling with it as we're on the road. I'll walk over. Oh, I'm pretty good at fixing those types of things. Oh, yeah, that's a really clever way of doing that. And yeah, you could also take one of your little hair things and use that to sort of help get in all of that. And sort of help I'm giving.
Thank you. I forgot I had those in. Pull one out.
Neivien,
Miki would be paying attention to all the crafting advice you're giving him. He just sort of drifts on over once you start explaining, oh, well, you could... Actually, you don't have that accent. As you give the advice, he would peek in and understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Neivien, you think you've made some pretty good progress on this thing. It's hard to know at this point whether it has been fully fixed and just needs infusion to reconnect, or whether it just needs a little bit more work, but you think you're pretty close to repairing this. Next downtime activity, if you can spend a bit of time, you think you can get this up and running. And if there's a message that's still waiting to be sent through this. The second this thing is repaired, the gemstone will start flashing, and you know that it's ready to go.
Which type of gemstone is it on this one?
Great question. I will tell you in a second while I pull that open. It will be a ruby. Spanreeds always use rubies.
Can I have a rummage through my pack and see if I have any ruby chips at all?
You would know that if you change the ruby, it will no longer function. It has to be. So the way that Spanreeds are made is a ruby is split perfectly in half, and the two halves will mimic the motion of the other across great distances, like quantum entangled. So you could switch the ruby, but it won't be paired anymore. You'll unpair it.
No, but my plan being to, if I can get one of a small enough power differential, I only recently learned about this in the book, so I'm assuming that I would know about it in character given her studies in Fabrials, but and maybe I don't, but you tell me, to be able to use the small chip to slowly infuse the Fabrial ruby.
Yes, you can definitely do that. You can keep them together and allow, you know that gemstones will transfer stormlight between them. Yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Yep, and all of your spheres are mostly infused. A high storm came through not too long ago before the events of the caravan. They lose stormlight quite slowly. Most of your chips would still be mostly infused. Maybe not fully, and maybe not all of them. Many of the small diamond chits and things like that maybe would have lost their infusion by now, but your bigger denominations would definitely still be infused. It lasts for a while. 100%. Okay. Absolutely. You can keep those together. Put it in the bag of spheres, and that'll work as well.
I give that a crack. Knowing that it's got to be several much smaller sized denominations to actually get the infusion. I'm kind of just hoping that there's going to be enough stormlight out of them, but knowing that it'll take a significant amount of time as well. And carry on. Alrighty.
You walk for hours without a sign of other people, without a sign of any people nearby. You can see Tazo begins to slow down a little bit. Ztar offers him a bit of water that he's collected. Tazo gratefully accepts it, and as he slowly begins to pick up the pace again after clearly being dehydrated and injured, eventually he ends up needing a bit of help with walking. I assume probably Gark or Miki would be the best people to help. Yeah, cool. But before too long, the road begins to rise up, and as you reach the top of a crest, you realize you have arrived at the Shattered Plains. Below you, an enormous stretching plain as far as the eye can see, from where you are to the horizon, stretches before you. Chasms, dark and deep, far deeper than you can possibly see from up here, form this network of branching, almost like veins, arteries, moving through the landscape, splitting it in half. And below you, you can see the Alethi warcamps, 10 of them, arranged in a semicircle along the western edge of the Shattered Plains. Set back a little bit of distance is what looks like a sprawling market district, and up on a series of hills you can see a palace has been soul cast out of stone, rising up, looking over the lands below. And as you crest the top of the hill looking down, you can see you are not too far from a war camp, the colours of which look to be these greens and golds as you look down below. Alaran and Miki, both of you have Alethi expertise. You would know immediately this is Sadius's war camp. And as you begin to make your way down towards the edge of following the road down towards the edge of the markets and Sadius's war camp, you can see a commotion, horns blaring as soldiers begin to rush out the gates, moving away from the camp. Running alongside them, lifting these massive wooden constructions, rising up with what look like these massive wooden platforms, bridges, you realize, are men. Some of them seem to be rushing ahead, red bones strapped to shields, strapped to armor, as they begin to rush ahead, moving ahead of the army. And as you are told to stand aside by a number of the soldiers, you watch as the force, Sadius's force, begins to empty his camp, moving towards the shattered plains, the trumpets still sounding this blaring noise as the figures begin to move away. As they do so, you overhear one of the soldiers muttering to himself. Bloody bridgemen. Can't believe they survived that last run. Strung him up in a ice storm, he did. Not that it did anything. The two of them begin to walk past. Before you, you see Sadius's war camp along with the other 9 war camps. The market district. Where would you guys like to go? You know, Bethab's war camp is a little bit further away. You can see his colours flying on banners far towards the north from where you are.
One of the big communications we had when we left the caravan was to be cautious reaching the camp and knowing that there is infighting between them. I think this is where Alaran tries to reassert some leadership over the party, and basically shows one of the 2 glyphs on his shoulders that is the Bethab glyph pair, and basically says if it doesn't have this insignia, it's not to be trusted with what we know.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
I realized I did a boo-boo. Sadius's colours are green and white. It's Royan who is green and yellow. My bad. Green. This deep forest green and white is Sadius's colours. So where you guys have arrived is right next to Sadius's and Royan's camp. Next up, sort of imagine like a curve around towards the north is Aladar, then Dalinar, Vamar, Ruther, Thanadol, Hatham, Bethab, and Sabariel. And you can see the flags flying over each of the war camps really clearly from your view upon the rise. Tazo sort of looks around in wonderment, his eyes wide as he sees people running into position, the soldiers clearing the camp as he looks towards all of you, sort of eyes wide, and then peers towards the market district and goes, I must thank you for getting me here safely. Please, can I give you something? As he reaches into his pack and pulls out a little coin pouch, he hands over towards you. It's going to be 10 marks for all of you to share between the lot of you. Is all he has on him at the moment.
I don't think that we need that. I'm not one to speak for the whole group. I certainly don't want your money.
Oh, but I agree.
My destination is the market district. I have a contact there I must meet with, but if you come by, please, you can find me at the Shalebark Sapling. I should be able to have accommodation there, and please let me at least buy you a drink if you come by later. I'll be here for at least a few more days.
You know, we've helped you out here. It'll be nice if you could, direct us, or if we have a need in town, help us out. That'll be great.
Yes, of course. Hornita White for you, my friend. No matter the cost, I will. And for the rest of you, maybe something safer to drink.
Very good.
Definitely do
It's
want to
safe for
go.
all. It is a safe drink for all. You just can't handle it. It is a fine drink.
For the rest of you, it is known that it is a popular rumor, shall we say, that non-Horn-eaters die if they try and drink Hornita White. Where imagining 200% proof moonshine is what a Hornita White is in terms of alcohol. It is, I think the human equivalent on Earth would be like Everclear, but further distilled. It's bad. There is a popular rumor that Hornita White can kill you if you're not a Horn-eater. And their beer melts pewter cups. Is also a popular myth that abounds. You don't know how much truth is in that. Gark, you're a wayfarer. I'd say probably you've maybe even tried a bit of Horn-eater White, and it was a very heady, potent alcohol that numbed your tongue, and you lost sort of feeling in your cheeks for a few hours afterwards. I mean, man, it was good though. It warmed you up, and you remember maybe 5% of that night, and what you do remember was quite fun. That was a little sip. Yeah. Tazo nods enthusiastically. Please, Shellbark sapling. I'll be there for at least a week, maybe 2, depending on how things go while I am here. Please at least let me buy you a round of drinks. It's the least I can do. You saved my life, helped me give my brother a proper send-off. In my culture, there is no way to repay the saving of a life, but I will do my best to do so. Where are you headed? Where is your destination? I know some of the locations here. I had a map of the... Why don't I... Here, as he reaches into his pack and pulls out a very stylized drawing of the Alethi warcamps and hands you this map showing off a lot of the locations in the Alethi warcamps, as well as a rough outline of the various locations. He would probably hand it over to Alaran, getting the sense that... Yeah, I'd say probably handing it to Alaran.
This is like the first kind of like interaction with him.
No, sorry,
Alaran's
you're a male.
making.
Sorry, no, he wouldn't. He would hand it to Neivien. There's writing on this. He knows that Alethi men don't read. Sorry, I can't read. He hands it over to Neivien, handing a map to you, Neivien. Sorry, apologies. I realized in that moment he would know that.
I was not even thinking about a map not being able to be read.
You can read a map, but there's text all over this map, not just glyphs. There's actual text on here. Women's language, the women's language. He has Alethi expertise. Tazo does know enough about Alethi culture to remember that. He would hand it to Neivien instead, this map.
Yeah. Almost like just to play off that then, that it is essentially that same kind of like was fully intending, but he knows that that's where it's to be handed and that's the
Hands
the duty
the
of the Alethi lady or the Vedan lady in the party. But this is like the first time he's trying to like assert control over the party. And I was just wondering if this like, I'm kind of curious to be distracted by this person in this moment of inciting this figure, because I realized that like Alaran's probably not really clocked in anything about them and is just wanting to incite this figure that's, it's the first time he's questioning why this man was running around in the middle of nowhere. And I would just like to incite his kind of like energy.
Yeah, I'll add as well to that. All of you know that the Alethi King Gavilar was assassinated by a Shin assassin dressed in white. That information is now very much public knowledge. The Shin have not had a great time since then. The Alethi blamed the Parshendi. The Parshendi took credit for it and said that it was their slave that they had do it. But it's still like a bit of a thing. Like the Shin there's been some consequences for the Shin as a result of this. 13 on the inside. I mean, Tazo seems affable, genuine. There's no hint of a lie here. Clearly something important drew him and his friends, his brother, away from Shinovar. I mean, that's the opposite end of the continent. We're talking thousands and thousands of miles. This is months of traveling to get here. If it was by foot, even by boat, this was a long journey. And to have them just die on the way to the Shattered Plains because 3 of them refused to pick up a weapon and fight, that is bizarre to you, Alaran. It is really hard to comprehend. But he does... Whatever this mission is seems to be so important that he will do anything to complete it except break his religion, I guess. Break his...
I guess on that insight, it's only a 13, but knowing that he feels very purposeful for this task and that none of that makes sense in my mind, I think I would ask most directly, like, what is your business in the war camps?
It is a longer story. Not one I really am at liberty to share. Apologies. Even to you who have saved my life. It is of a personal nature for my family and for my people.
Alaran doesn't see anything in this that's innately like interesting or pivotable in the sense of like, Gark's told him he's studying an emporium earlier today, and that seems very industrious.
Oh yeah.
And in Alaran's perspective, he's like,
This man just said it was
I
personal
guess
business. That's not your problem. Personal business of other people. Yeah.
And his is like unfamiliar in his motivations as they can get in terms of the kingdoms. So Alaran will probably bid him well and kind of like almost egg the rest of the party to continue on down towards the camps, specifically avoiding the camp that is the one we're about to potentially make some accusation against. So I don't want to be walking past or through there, but I am still wearing my jacket with my insignia on, with my colors on.
I will give you the bad news. You have to walk past Thanadel's camp to get to Bethab. You have to. There is no way there without going through Bethab's camp. If you wanted to stop off in the outer market to change your clothes and things or do something,
I was going to say invert my jacket.
Yeah.
With the knowledge that is the biggest identifier. I don't think there's anyone else, carrying colors.
Yeah. You will have to walk past the outer market to get to Bethab's war camp. So if I think what we might do in that case, then what we might do is we might wrap up there. Feels like we're moving into a larger conversation that I want to make sure we've got time to do properly as we go through, rather than rushing through like, are there any equipment or things you want to pick up? Let's do that at the beginning of next session. What I will do really quickly, which I probably should have done at the start of the session, now that you've all picked your heroic paths, could we quickly go around and see which each of you have picked and how close it was to the ones that you played or like selected more often than not in the episode, the first step, the special session 0. So, Josh, what path did Gark end up going with?
I went with Scholar.
Scholar, nice. Which was one of your highest, which was you tied highest for Scholar and Envoy, so that makes a lot of sense. Raph, what did Neivien pick? I think I can guess, actually.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, also Scholar.
Yep. I was going to say leader, but that makes sense. No, yeah, Scholar makes perfect sense. Ash, what did Alaran choose in the end?
Alaran used his feature today. It's leader.
Yep.
He had a moment of recognizing that he is feeling in control and has started down a path for leader.
Yeah, you were tied between leader and envoy, so that makes perfect sense. Yeah. And Tom, what path did Miki end up taking?
Probably no surprise there. That'll be a warrior running at the enemies.
There you go. So you did all stick with the heroic path that you picked the most with your actions in session 0. Nice. I love it. I love it very much. You will have seen during the process of making your characters that your starting path has no bearing on who your character necessarily has to be. Even after another single level up, you could be playing a completely different build. So like you're so freeform in how you pick and choose. Like, And I was trying to say that, like, don't get too hung up on the heroic starting path. Really, the only thing it gives you is that extra bonus to one of your starting skills and an initial ability. But then after that, like, you're really just picking for fun. Like, it's pretty cool how freeform it is. Awesome sauce. Okay, well, that is where we'll wrap up for today for our Echoes of Honor campaign. We will be back next week, hopefully with Harrison joining us as well as we dive into this next portion. Having arrived safely at the safely, ? Having arrived intact. Having arrived at the Shattered Plains, we are now entering
completing our goal.
Completing the goal.
One of our goals of travel to the Shattered Plains.
Yeah, exactly right. We will be able to explore the Shattered Plains and see a bit more, and obviously to place us in the timeline. For those of you who are familiar with the book The Way of Kings, they have arrived at the Shattered Plains during the moments where the bridge crews have started to use the Parshendi carapace and bones to draw the attention of the Parshendi warriors. I
love that little Easter egg being thrown in there. That was great.
Specifically, if you want to know the exact date where this is taking place, the exact date is because you've had a night, so technically this is now the 2nd of the 5th of the 9th, 1173. Or if we were doing it in the term of the actual way that it's organized, it would be Tanatahes, which is hilarious the way that it's like I'll give you guys the information on how to read the calendar because it's nuts and it is wild and it's really fun. But yeah, that is the specific date. So for those of you who know the books, you'll be able to follow along with major events. We will be seeing them take place parallel to the events of the campaign. And we will be maintaining canon throughout, I promise, as best as I can. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. For those of you watching on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid a lovely friend of the channel. That is RollTogether RPG, who are doing their Chronicles of Erdrun campaign, which means you will get to see more of Josh. I'll get that raid across now. Everybody else, thank you so much. Remember, you can really, really help us out, especially if you're watching on YouTube, by hitting the like button, or as I like to call it, stabbing the rock lobster with the spear. You can leave a comment, which is using a pulley to unsuccessfully raise a rock up the side of an area with the comment button, or you can subscribe, which is to, as Josh put it, grab 2 rocks together, bang them, and go, which is the subscribe button. That really helps us out. Thank you so much. We will see you all next episode. Until then, stay safe, stay well. See you guys next time. Bye.
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 Mwah.